Yo, 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 what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, man? Texans on 3 podcast. Hey, we doing something a little different tonight. We don't have my boy Patton in here. We don't have Frank Nitty, but it's your boy Killer Cal in here, holding it down. And coming up, hey, when we got the doctor. We got Dr. Larry Payton in the house, so we gonna be the 1-2 on the microphone today. So we got Doc in the house. What's up, Doc? What's going on, bro?
Hey, Killer, just glad to be seen, man. You know, it's good that 1, 2, 3 is back in the house on a Tuesday, coming
Back in the
off a
house,
fresh
man.
victory.
For
So it's
sure,
all
man. Yeah, you know we needed this one, man. This was one of those, even though it was early in the season, 1/4 of the season, 5 games in. But this was really a do or die season, man, because quiet as kept. I know people really don't want to give the Colts and the Jaguars their credit, but they're playing some good ball. But right now, we just have to take care of what we need to take care of, man. So, it was just great to get the dub, especially going into a bye, feel good type of situation. 44 points on the board. So it's one of those things, man. We just have to be happy with, man. So let me ask you something, man. Just
absolutely.
just briefly, man. What did you see last week? What did you see Sunday that made you be more have a positive mindset on what we need to do moving forward and how we can build off of this victory here?
Oh, man. I want to scream and holler with 44 points up there. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed of so much offensive production. In fact, I would say this entire year, and the viewers, me, I've been very down on the whole New England idea of offensive schemes.
Right.
So I'm very pleased with the output of 44 points. I don't really have the vocabulary to express how glad I am to see that many points out there. Um, Goodness, the opening drive, they went right down and scored a touchdown. Man, I almost fainted over here because I didn't think they had that in them. Regardless of what players Baltimore had out there, whether it was the second or third group, the Texans showed that they could execute. And that's most important, I believe, in building on a solid foundation as they move forward with the season. Um,
Right.
uh, so you mentioned positive. That was the point output, the opening drive, uh, the crisp accuracy and precision CJ Stroud played with. I think he had somewhere around over 80% completion percentage, which
Yeah, the highest in his career. I think it was something like 85%.
wow, that's unbelievable. And let's not sell it short. The Baltimore Ravens have been dominant against this franchise over the last 22 years. We have only squeaked out two other victories against them all time. So I think this brings us up to our third victory and the first in Baltimore. And I think last week I was joking with the whole crew that the Texans had not scored an offensive touchdown since COVID-19 pandemic in the year of 2020. So this was amazing to see, and just really excited about what these Texans were able to do. And we'll talk more about the defense, but I need to give the offense all of the credit that I have been wearing them out on since Nick Caley was hired.
Right. Yeah, I get that, man. CJ Stroud, 4 touchdowns, 245 yards, a 144.1 passer rating, 0 turnovers. Getting Dalton Schultz involved early is very key. Like what I'm seeing with Dalton Schultz is give him early targets, and he's going to be engaged in the whole game. So that's one of the things that I'm seeing. Hey, I'm hearing the echo. Do you hear echo?
No, you're good.
Okay. But getting Dalton Schultz involved early is very key with this offense, and it gets him more involved in the blocking scheme and everything. But my only thing on the offensive side, if I'm gonna point out something like kind of negative, I need to see Nico getting the amount of targets that guys like Puka Nakua and like I like look, let me tell you something. Nico is a guy that I feel like if you throw the ball his direction, like you're gonna get positive results. So I want to see more of that. But I love that the Texans can spread the ball around. That's great. I see that they're using Noel and something that you said in the spaces too. And you pointed out, and I want you to elaborate on this. You pointed out that you saw that it was more of a Ram scheme this game than it was the Patriot scheme. So I want you to elaborate on that and tell me what you saw.
Oh, absolutely. I know I started a firestorm in the space, but as I get going, I want to shout out to my guy, Black Lion, Jay Coop in the bull ring, Brandon in the bull ring.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, I I'm speaking from what I know and how I watch games. I didn't play a lot of formal football past high school. I've been following the game real close. It's a lot of hours on watching football games, and from what I can tell, the schemes are very different. The Kubiak Shanahan McVay tree West Coast Foundation is very different than the Earnhardt Perkins New England style game plan offense that
Right.
Nick Caley has experienced in both of them. And
Right.
so I think that I can tell for the most part when those two schemes are being run. And so the Texans' run game, for example, it is not traditional in a Shanahan Kubiak way, but what I am seeing and did see in this game is especially when they put players in motion, they have them in their motion in the line of scrimmage where they go and block. So if you go
Hmm.
back to our week one game against the Rams, where Puka Kua closed the game out, where he uh, did a motion into the line of scrimmage, faked Jalen Petrie like he was going to block, and then he uncovered in the flat. So
Right.
I saw a lot of that happening from a blocking standpoint. So that's why I say I saw a lot of McVay in this offense this past week. I did see some New England, a handful of plays with misdirection and some Patriot type of schemes, but thank you. A black line down there says call a wide receiver insert. And so he's one of the
Hmm.
guys out there that helped me on my football terminology. And I appreciate greatly. Yeah, I just see a lot of that McVay, and McVay is a genius, but he don't have all the answers. Um, Josh McDaniels is a great play caller, but he don't have all the answers.
Right.
So we'll see what Nick Caley's able to develop in his Houston Texans offense. And each week, I hope to see more of a differentiated offense from New England, typical Earnhardt Perkins type of scheme.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Man, what I saw with this offense this past week was, and I said this before the game started. I think it was on the Friday show. I said The first 15 scripted plays is going to let you know how the game is going to go. Like, regardless of the injuries that Baltimore had, you still got to go out there and be precise because we had played a previous game and we was winning 6-0 at halftime, and we got very excited when it was a final score. Where like we shut them out, but I think we scored like 26 points or whatever it was. But I need to see progression and success in the first half. And I said this like several times. CJ Stroud was going to be the reason why we would stop Derrick Henry, because once we start putting points on the board, you got to go away from the run. You know, they're not going to run Henry as much, and they're going to put the ball in Cooper Rush hands, and and it just worked out, pretty greatly. So, going 2-3 in the bye, like when you really look at it, me personally, um, this team here is really like three broken plays away from being 5-0. So when you say that, a lot of people as fans, we can understand that as Texan fans. The national media, because they don't follow the games, so they don't know. They're looking at a 2-3 team. They're looking at the Chargers. They're looking at Buffalo. They're looking at Kansas City. They're looking at all these. But you know what they're going to start paying attention to is the way this defense is playing. And so um,
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
say we could say that, Matt Burke is calling great defensive plays, and, him and D'Amico, they working, you know, cohesively together. But man, this defense is what allowing the offense to do what they need to do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
my thing is, Larry, if we can just score 28 points, which is not a whole lot if you think about it. It's you just you score on the drives that you have. Like, if you score 67% on your drives, you're going to be successful. And so my thing is, whether it's a field goal and a touchdown and a touchdown, like, it doesn't matter, but you just have to be successful in putting points on the board, and the defense is going to carry you right now. So we need both sides of the ball to, like the defense is carrying their weight. Now we saw the offense put up 44 points. I'm telling you, that defense side of the ball looked at that 44 points on the board and was like, oh yeah, we could be undefeated if the offense is going to do this. So
oh
how do
yeah,
you think they're going to be able to carry on? Like, you got 13, 14 days off. You fly home to your hometown, you chilling, you're having a good time. You're on a high, even though you're under 500, but you're still on a high. So how does it change when you come back? Because we have to travel to Seattle, right?
yeah, yeah. We got to travel to Seattle, but before we go there, I want to back up on what you were just making about the defense. We got to give
Hmm.
them some props. And if I had my engineer on the ones and twos, he would come in with some heavy bass just beating down the block because our defense is beating these boys up, man. Our defense coming with it. We expected our two defensive ends to bring it,
Yeah,
but I want to salute the insertion of EJ Speed into the lineup. I want to
for
give
sure.
Jalen Petrie a shout out.
Right,
He excelled in this game, not only with two interceptions, but his play in and around the line of scrimmage just uh, was unbelievable. And he even decleated Derrick Henry, who was at 6'3", 250.
right.
And the defense in whole held Derrick Henry under 40 rushing yards for the day. So uh,
Yeah.
they did they did their thing. Now, can we do that every week? Uh, we're on the route to because You the stats man, Cal. I think you said we're holding teams under 13 points a game.
Yeah, I
So
think right now we was
we
12.75. Right now we're like 12.2.
yeah. So offense, give me 20 points a game. Give me two
Right.
touchdowns and two field goals. Hey,
Yeah.
we step away and be ready for the playoffs and just keep building. But the defense was good. Also, a shout out to Stewart, 29.
MJ
Goodness, he
Stewart.
stepped
Yeah.
MJ Stewart stepped into the starting lineup. Has done fine, very fine over the last 2 weeks, and so we hadn't missed a beat there.
Right.
Um, Derek Stingley did have give up a big play on yardage, but you could clearly see he had slipped, and everyone close to the team was that he's playing through injury,
Hmm.
which is a really testament to his growth as a player because in his early in his career he was getting an injury prone tag, and I think he is really gutting it out right now, trying to play through the pain,
Hmm.
discomfort, and really still doing an adamant job of shutting down his side. So um, we're looking good, man.
Right. Hey, let's go early to the bull ring, man. Shout out to, Brandon Hallam, J. Coop, uh, Mellow Mike, as always, man. Let me look at one of these. Okay, we've seen this is Mellow Mike. We have seen some reinvention on D'Amico's part, no longer keeping players on the field that don't deserve to be there. Game management improved, and he is more like a CEO rather than a play calling coach. I agree with that 100%
Yeah,
because I need him to be attentive on both sides of the room. Like I don't need you over there calling offensive plays, but being on the offensive side of the room, holding guys accountable. Like, hey man, why are we playing this guy in? Notice we haven't star uh Dore, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Um and
Dore,
right, you haven't started Dore, and you're seeing
David
guys that
Tomlinson has been uh,
he's
relegated
another
to the
one.
bench. Yeah, relegated to the bench. I mean, he playing the youngsters, getting them touches. D'Amico Ryans is calling for your guy Nico Collins to get more and more touches. He wants him
Right,
to be the playmaker that he has the ability to be.
right. And me personally, man, let me say this. Uh got into it on the spaces, people's like, why do you want to force feed Nico? Because I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. And I feel like that he can run every route on the route tree. So my thing is like this guy has to get, 10 to 12 to 14 targets a game. And that's going to open it up for like now, one thing I can say is Kirk seems to be a little bit more like this week like last week he seemed like he was like a step slower. This week, this past week, it looks like he was like a little bit crisp on his route running. So that's going to eventually open up some things for Nico. We saw Higgins, he started to get unlocked. And another thing was, what's my guy, number 19?
Hutchins.
Hutchison. Hutchison is starting to look pretty decent, man. And
Yeah.
like, bro, I think that with the Texans offense, they are just saying, like, look, we need somebody to step up, and if you can produce, we're going to continue to use you. So I'm liking what I'm seeing on the offensive side, man. You got to be able to build off of this. You can't go from 44 points and going back to only scoring the one touchdown. Like I think CJ kind of he's going to get his engine revved up, and I think we're gonna be able to build off of this, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, if the Texans is scoring 28 points, I know you said 21. We averaged 21.9 last year. but this defense is better than last year. But if we're scoring 21 points, but I say 28, we scoring 28 points, man. We can 10 and 2, 11 and 1. Like we can do some serious damage, not only in a division, but in an entire conference, man.
Yeah. Thing, just for the show and the viewership, Cal, I need you to change your narrative under your name to say I'm the number one Nico Collins fan, and
Oh man,
then
they already know that, man.
and
Look,
then also
hey,
I'm the number one British Brooks fan.
British Brooks, yes. I mean, hey, look, I
He
stand on
got
that
two
hill,
carries. He
man.
got two carries now,
He got two carries from the fullback position. I need him
and he
in the
picked up
tailback
first downs
position.
too. Picked up
Yes,
first
and he
downs.
he he hit the hole, had vision, burst through the line. I'm like, bro, I'm telling y'all, man, like walk my words. British Brooks is not a fullback. He's a football player that they have on a 53-man roster, and they have to put him on the field, so they got him playing fullback. There's no team in NFL history has ever carried two fullbacks. British Brooks is a tailback. So I'm telling y'all this right now. I love what Woody Marks is doing. I'm a big fan of Nick Chubb. But when I tell you that British Brooks is going to be something to deal with, I just want to put that out there because every time that I say something, people act like, hey, man, you said this, but I don't remember you said that. I was on the Nico
I'm gonna give
Collins
you
fan
credit.
club from the
Give credit.
beginning.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you credit because you have them hot takes now, Cal. Shout out to Space Age and the Bull Ring. Jay Coop brings up something that I'm very interested in. He said that the RPOs were golden this week. We need to continue to evolve that strategy, especially when Chubb is at running back. I
Mhm.
know that that is a concept and a new. We really can say it's a scheme now. RPO is its own scheme, from my opinion, because when Russell Wilson came to the Seattle Seahawks, they took that scheme all the way to the Super Bowl and should have had back-to-back Super Bowl championships. But Pete
Right.
Carroll forgot the run portion and getting that ball to beast mode on the 1 yard line. So, in
Hmm.
future shows and future dialogue, I definitely want to get some more Black Lions insight on the RPOs and how we use it. Because as we talk about it, my mind's eye, I'm not seeing it, I'm not recognizing those as RPOs in the game. So, I could use a little schooling there. But Mellow Mike jumped in and said Brooks is the utility type back. You remember Raymond Harris from Chicago? One of my good friends, Otis Harris, he called him the ultra back. He used to be blocking for uh, a real good running back Chicago had named Neil Anderson. But I don't want to show my age too much. Let's shift back to these Texans. Which direction you want to go in, Cal? Because I do want to touch in on a little critical critique that I have of our general manager, Nick Casario, today.
Okay, let's go ahead and hit on that, man. Let's hit on that. What you got on that?
Yeah, well, before we forget, Nick was answering. I think this is his slotted time to speak to the media because the Texans are going on a break. And he answered a lot of questions, and I think the media did a good job. Especially shout out to a podcast fan and a big supporter, Big Sarge. He asked him about his free agency, his approach to the draft. They asked him about the offense. Landry Locker drilled about this New England style offense and how he thought Kaylee was doing. And Nick has a word salad each time he gets to speak. And so I have some contention with him because he's downplaying the uniqueness of the New England game plan offense. He's he spouted off that most offenses are rooted in the same. He pointed out the route tree being the same, but certain schemes call for a different blocking scheme, and which is probably true. And he knows more football than I do, but
Right.
uh, most fans of these teams that are being run each week are very different, from the zone read to the spread to the traditional pro style to the New England style offense to, like, Black Lion said, RPOs that are being run. And then you got teams like Philadelphia and Baltimore that runs power smash mouth football. So I felt a little disrespected in a way that Casario was trying to make the New England offense seem like it was everybody else's. Um, and then he had one additional comment about roster building that Sarge asked him about the players that he brought in for the offensive line specifically, and free agents. Does he approach free agents in the same way he does draft picks? I think it's a crapshoot, or um, taking a chance. And he responded in his typical fashion that we bring guys in hoping that they'll do well, but if they don't, we try to move on from them. So maybe it's just me, but it sounded just like a little disrespectful in the way that he was answering it. Like, everything that I do is a crapshoot. Well, dude, you've been doing this for 25 years. You should be very skilled and knowledgeable and have a good sound systems and processes in place to mitigate uh, the mismanagement of the cap and the exploding dead cap that you're putting out there. So I just wanted to speak to that. I keep a critical eye on Casario, and
Hmm.
I listen to what he says, trying to understand it, but also knowing that uh, he is uh, uh, he is being a little misguided in what he's trying to put out there.
Uh, let me say this about Nick Casario, and I mean, as great as the organization of like Kansas City, I use them as an example. Kansas City, like as bad as we talk about his inability to draft offensive linemen, Kansas City lost two Super Bowls because they beat the hell out of Patrick Mahomes. They could not protect him. And that general manager from Kansas City is considered as one of the great ones. And they like when they lost to Tampa Bay, they got eviscerated. Like, man, that Patrick Mahomes couldn't. I think what did they lose that Super Bowl like 33-9? It was something ridiculous. Like Pat was under duress, and so I'm looking online today, and I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I see we talk about how great the offensive line with the Eagles and their offensive line coach, and Jalen Hurts was sacked 6 times. Like it happens. So my thing with Nick Casario, like I understand this is me personally, and I know you. We've had several conversations, Doc. I know you're going to disagree with me. Those first 2 years, man, I sweep that out of the door. The font the 3 years after that, and the way that this team was built. When you tell me that this guy here have missed on offensive line play, he's mismanaged the cap in a lot of ways. But the flip side is he found we hope to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, which is the most important thing.
Uh, we have a Joe Mixon that if he was still healthy. Like we have a 1-2 punch in that backfield with a Woody Marks learning from both of these guys. We have an offensive line. I mean, a wide receiver room, which he totally botched the Stephon Diggs trade. He botched it. But I think that was one of those under the table deals. Like, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, and cut these remaining years off your contract, but you're gonna re-sign with us. And Stephon Diggs got hurt and didn't, you know, follow up on that. So it is what it is. But I think that we got two other young wide receivers, and we got Hutchinson emerging, to build up on that. Now, the one thing that I am looking at right now is, and I think you was a big proponent of keeping Laramie Tunsil, but when we was talking to AD, and that's one thing that I agree with. I said that when we drafted uh Ursery and we drafted
Blake Fish.
Blake Fisher, that was to be able to move on from Tunsil and Howard because you was going to have to pay Will Anderson and you was going to have to pay CJ. And so it's no way that you was going to have two top paying, tackles and have to like solidify the rest of your team. And you're going to have CJ. Like CJ and Will
I
is going to get
understand
their
your
money.
point. I understand your point, but Philadelphia's doing it. 49ers are doing it. We got the money.
CJ and Will is going to make so much money that you could like Tunsil was top three as far as being paid as a tackle. I don't know
Sure,
if it would do
but
Philip.
so
Yeah,
was Lane Johnson. So when Hertz got his money, he was top of the league. You just got to be able to do it early and have a good plan. So I don't want to bog down the show disagreeing about Tunsil because I already moved on from him. But I just think
gotcha.
you got a franchise quarterback, you don't mess around with his protection. What we put out there this year is a gamble, and you don't gamble with a young man's future. I mean, David Carr wasn't going to
Well,
be
hey,
a Hall of
let me
Famer,
ask, let me
but
ask
he
let me
could have
ask you
been
this.
better.
Let me ask you this: is the gamble paying off with Double E? Ursa is having a very highly productive year at left tackle for a
Uh, I'm
fraction of the cost. Is it working out?
I'm fine with it at the moment, but what happens if he have a game like he did against the Rams? 3, 4 more games like that, and CJ get from the buying side. We're gonna have a whole different perspective about Ursary. And I don't blame the player. I blame management for putting him in that position. If you will recall back when CJ became the starter for the Texans, they were asking D'Amico, media was asking, well, do you think CJ's ready? You think he's going to feel the pressure? And D'Amico said, there's no pressure. I don't put pressure on him. He just got to go out there and play. He don't have any extra pressure. But conversely, there is pressure on Ariante Ursary every game, every to protect number 7 when he shouldn't have that kind of pressure on him as a rookie.
But I mean, from what we've seen in 5 games, -1, and that Rams game came pretty early. I'm going to say that the young fellow has exceeded expectations. Like
Yeah, I
this
think
dude here, like he's like I think he's exceeded expectations.
yeah, I do
And I
I do think so, but I'm saying he's still a rookie left tackle in a league full of uh, super talented pass rushers that um, demand respect. And what you put a rookie on the island like that, you're asking for trouble. So
gotcha.
I think he can develop and be good, but I personally not put a rookie out there on the edge like that to start off with a franchise guy. Even with the guy that from New England that they drafted in the top five, Campbell, and he's playing
Mhm.
left tackle and protecting Drake May. But Drake May is a little more mobile than CJ, I believe.
Yeah.
Is improved. That's one thing that got a lot of attention. CJ did speak to how he improved his health, his body, his conditioning in the off season. We see him running more, and you can even tell in his face that he has lost some of the baby fat and starting to mature.
Right.
Yeah, the bull ring is
Uh.
right. Dork is 94. You right. The Rams pass rusher. Hurst was giving Trent Williams, who is the best left tackle in the game, was giving him hell. So
Right.
that's very understandable. Um, I would just rather go with a vet that has some tricks of the trade than a young man that has to be out on that island. But
Yeah.
I'm wrong every once in a while.
Yeah. I can count it like a couple of times there that you're wrong, but I'm gonna leave it right there. Hey man, tell me what you think about Juice Scruggs, man. Scruggs. Like, how do you like his progression of getting playing
Yeah,
time and seeming like he's a solid plug-in type of guy? Like, look like he's found a home, at that left guard. What do you think about that?
I've been impressed with Scruggs since he's worked his way back into the lineup. In fact, I don't know how he got in the doghouse prior to the season because of his draft status, his ability to play multiple positions, his tenure with the team. I thought that he would have penciled in as a starter initially, but it didn't work out that way. Um, it seems as though whatever their plan was, it motivated him, and he's come in and done his assignment. And I see him each game playing to the whistle, going to the next level, getting extra work, definitely going out the pancakes. So I'm very impressed with what Trent's been, not Trent, what Juice has been doing.
Right. One thing that I notice about this line, and see, the average fan look at the line and only comment on it when it's not doing well. But me playing offensive line and watching offensive line, one thing I can say about this line, regardless of what PFF put out there, and this line is pretty much it's better than what a lot of fans really think it is. Because Titus is having a hell of a year. Um, the right
Yeah,
guard.
Titus
Who,
is playing well, but he is getting penalized every game. We need him to tighten up whatever he's doing. He's starting to get a reputation, or he
right.
complaining or something where the officials are still throwing the flag on him.
Yeah,
So
the right guard, he's escapes me right now. Who am I thinking
Ed
of?
Ingram,
Ingram is having, man, the way that he's playing right now, he's gonna earn him another contract, bro. Because he's doing pretty good. And Andrews is pretty much holding it down. Like you can see mistakes, but you don't see egregious mistakes as we were seeing last year. And I think
mhm.
what needs to happen with CJ is he gets more comfortable. Like, I understand we was playing a decimated Baltimore team, but when I say that offense was very crisp and precise, getting the ball out of his hands within 2 point whatever seconds, like not holding on to the ball, the rush is not deep into his face. Like, when he starts to have that confidence, he starts to get into a rhythm just like any other quarterback. And I think that that's something that they really need to build on. So
Well,
I think
I'm not
that. Mhm, go
I'm
ahead.
not quite ready to say that I was wrong about Andrews. No, he comes from the New England system, and we picked him off the bottom of the barrel. He has played. well for what he's been asked to do. Um, I think that goes for the whole offense. So are they good yet? No, I'm not going to give credit for being good. But they are playing well enough for the offense where they're not holding the offense back. If they
Mm,
can uh, stick to their assignment and not get penalized like we saw earlier in the season, then that can keep the chains moving. Um, and I think that's what this offense is going to have to be. We're not really going to be a big play offense week to week. We need to be one that can execute and take advantage of field position.
right,
And hopefully CJ and Woody can come through on third down conversions.
right. Going to the bull ring right quick. Mellow Mike said 2.4 seconds. CJ and the receivers are getting on the same page. I agree with that. I feel like that, CJ getting the ball out of his hands, the first read. And this is something that you talked about. Is you was talking about scheming guys open. And another thing was what I spoke on like the first three games was I felt like the route tree for all the receivers was was extensive. It was 5 to 7 yards. And if you have an offensive line that's not holding their block, then if one offensive lineman missed their block, it can be totally discombobulated, and CJ have to move once he move out of the pocket, he no longer have the full third of the field. So if he roll into the right, he's really having 1/3 of the field. So he's eliminating, you know, 2/3 of the field, which the other routes that are being ran over that. So when we look at the all 22, it's like, hey, he was open, but when you roll out, you don't see those plays. But if you reduce those routes to like quick hitting routes and that's your first read, then you'll be more successful. And then when you have shorter reads, the offensive line grade goes up. Because if a quarterback get the ball out of his hands, the offensive line is going to look good because there's no QB pressures. And like all of that stuff is going to be reduced. But if I'm doing 5 to 7 steps drop back, and the five linemen is not holding their block, and Woody Marks is missing a block, and Dalton Schultz is lackluster, then you're going to have pressures, and CJ is going to, get out of his mechanics and not be able to complete the pass. So they just have to keep this rhythm with the offense,
Yeah.
So
And speaking of rhythm, I think you pointed out one of the major ingredients for them having success in the last 2 weeks is those quick hitters to Schultz, timing routes, him sitting in the zone as soon as CJ's back foot hits that third or the fifth step, he's
right.
delivering the ball on time accurately. And I think this offense really needs that. Um, I actually think that Dalton Schultz played inspired this week. I can't remember which
Oh,
week
like
you
I
and I.
said, if you get him involved early and you get him a couple of targets within the first 2 quarters, you get him 4 targets, he's catching the ball, he's feeling good, then those blocks, he's going to be more inspired to be into the game. But that's
Yeah,
just being the diva of a receiver because most receivers are like that. Like if you don't get them involved early, you're gonna be
yeah,
like AJ Brown. You're gonna go to the sideline reading a book. Like you're not even interested in the game no more. It's like, bro, like I'm open.
we
And
got a
and
deep
Dalton
play.
Schultz, right. So that's one thing that I love is getting him involved early. But um let's move on to the one of my favorite subjects is the running backs. And everybody loved Woody Marks. I love him too. But we're seeing Nick Chubb. And one thing about Nick Chubb is he's going to get you 5 yards to carry. So one of the things that I was disputing a few guys in the spaces was you have to be able to get Chubb his carries, his touches. He's a locomotive. He's going to start slow, but once he starts to feel the rhythm of what's going, and see, another thing you got to realize is Chubb probably played against Baltimore. This is probably his 15th game against Baltimore because he was at Cleveland like what 7 years or something like that. So he understands their defensive philosophy. So that's one of the guys that I was like, look, you have to get him involved early. Like, I want this guy at minimum to get 15 touches a game. And so people was telling me, like, well, you got to get Woody Marks involved. One thing that I thought about this is Woody is still a rookie. Rookies only play 12, 13 games with limited touches in college. Let's just let Woody work into the NFL season and continue to learn and grow because we're going to need that type of guy in December and January. But I don't want to put Chubb, at limited carries. Like Chubb is not a guy that's going to be effective if you only giving him 8 carries a game and you giving Woody 25 carries a game. I don't think you should do that. So that's my synopsis on that. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about the distribution of carries with both of those running backs?
No, I think that you right on line with that. I think Chubb needs to remain the starter to be the steady influence, get a power game going. The team, all of the coaches talk about want to establish the run. I think they are fine with 3 yards a pop until they get the defense worn down a little bit. Um, uh, Morris, specifically Woody's role, I think he is getting the bulk of the third downs now, which I see him as much more of a weapon in the passing game. And we've
Hmm.
all seen his highlights blocking. I believe he did miss one blitz pickup this week.
Yeah,
But
you did.
I want to shout out to the H-Town Rundown. I know they probably own as well, but we did all 22 a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the effectiveness of Dalton Schultz and blocking amongst many other topics. But one of Woody's runs this week against the Ravens, I saw Schultz get two people on a run game. I was like, just bust out
Right,
laughing, like I can't believe that. So I think
right.
what you said about him makes a big role for him. Get him involved early in the game, and you will see it, see his enthusiasm go throughout the game. That he will participate more in blocking and run his routes energy, because he does have the tendency. I don't want to call him a diva again, but to loaf. He
Hmm.
doesn't. He goes half speed, doesn't go all out, and so I think getting him more catches uh, brings up his intensity level.
Right.
And it
I
seems
agree
like
with that.
we talk a lot about the offense, but we got to give him a lot of praise. I think that we did not get the first team offense with a punt. I think the punter only showed up late in the game when Mills got in there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in the entire fourth quarter. So it was just uh, couldn't come at a perfect, better timing for the team. We needed it. We needed to go into the bye at 2-3 with a little momentum as
Hmm.
we rest up and recuperate and get ready for Seattle. You want to transition into your thoughts about the bye week and uh, what we have coming up next.
Yeah.
Um,
one thing I do want to hit on is like as good as this defense has been, um, we still have two rookies that haven't seen the field, and we still have Jimmy Ward coming back. So like this defense, and let me shout out to Jalen Petrie, the boy from Stafford. Shout out to Larry Stafford. You know, I know that y'all boys, y'all celebrate Petrie very heavily, man. But he had a pretty good game, man. Two interceptions. He was everywhere on the field, man. So this defense is still going to be adding pieces, man. So when you're adding pieces to the defense and also incorporating, Noel more into the offense, Higgins more into the offense, you see that they using Hutchinson more. Like this is almost like it could be a perfect storm, man. And I think that going forward, I think that like the way that the preseason has been played in the past, that a lot of these guys don't get reps in the preseason. And so it kind of seems like that you don't see the rhythm start to, manifest until like the third week. Because I think it's just like, look, because in preseason right now, you have the first team come out and they'll play like one series. Second game they'll play maybe two. If they score a touchdown, and then on the next drive they score a field goal, they out of there. And then the third game, then they really not playing at all. They probably play a six. So you're actually playing less than one game in preseason. So when you see these wide receivers not on the same page with CJ, because it's they in live action ones against the ones, you're not getting that chemistry together. So I think right now you're starting to get that chemistry starting to flow. It's starting to look like, and even with Nick Caley's starting to look like that. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing right now. It looks, yeah, I think I can do this job, man. I'm okay. I'm fine. So I
Yeah.
think it's just going to continue to grow off of that, man.
Well, speaking of that, I just wanted to follow up on that. Let's play hindsight 2020.
All
Should
right.
should D'Amico Ryans have played his first team offense more in the preseason, a quarter a game at least?
Absolutely. Look, I understand they come in with this gentleman agreement. They come in and saying, "Hey, coach," because the coaches talk and be like, "Hey, well, I'm just gonna play CJ for 10, 15 scripted plays." So a lot of times coaches want to see their backup depth because it's limited. Preseason games used to be 4 games. So the first game of preseason was always you come out the whole first quarter. The second preseason game, you came out the first half. The third preseason game, you came out for 3 quarters. And then the fourth preseason game, you didn't play at all. Right now, it's totally opposite. You play one drive the first preseason game, you play midway through the second quarter, maybe. The third preseason game, you don't play at all. That's no rhythm, no continuity. So, me as a coach and an organization, I'm gonna tell these guys, look here, man. I understand what y'all trying to see, but I need my guys to be on board because Hutchinson is a new wide receiver. He was number 5 on the depth chart. I got Higgins and Noel. They wasn't even on the team. They rookies. And I got Kurt wasn't even on the team. So I got 4 wide receivers, and then I got Braxton Berrios that wasn't on the team. So I have no rhythm with these guys. The only rhythm that I have is with Nico Collins and um, the tight end Dalton Schultz. So
Yeah,
no, I
and
need to be able to
you,
work in the rhythm with my guys,
yeah,
and then when the season start, we don't lose 14-9 to the Rams because you have continuity. Because when the Rams needed to score, guess who they went to? Puka Nakua, 13 targets, 10 catches, 113 yards.
Speaking of
Hey,
Puka Nakua, I just sent you poked fun at you the other day. I sent you a tweet into our group chat that said that Puka Nakua has 50 receptions already in 5 games.
bro, that breaks my heart for Nico. That
50
breaks my heart for Nico,
receptions
man.
in 5 games.
That breaks my heart for Nico, bro. Because you can't tell me Nico does not have that ability to do that. And so when I say give Nico the ball, and people like, oh man, you got to spread the ball around. They got Devontae Adams opposite of him, a future Hall of Famer, and they're still finding a way to get Puka the ball.
It'll be week
Man,
nine before Nico get the 50 egg reception.
bro, Nico is on his way to get 80 receptions for the year, and that's at the max. So my thing is, bro, I need to get this dude. I need to just max Nico out. I need to max him out, bro. Because if Puka can do it, Nico can do the same thing, man. So hey, um, let me see what I want to hit on right quick. I hit on the running backs, man. So you agree with me about keeping Chubb in there as the starter?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so
we
how
hitting
how
that
many?
hour. We hitting that hour mark. I know our engineer behind the scenes got an early morning, so we probably better
Yeah.
move back to the bye week. So uh,
Okay.
with, with us coming into the bye week with 2 straight wins, I mean the team is very confident. We're relatively healthy. Hopefully,
Right.
these guys do the right thing and do the smart thing during the break. I believe on the Sports Radio 610 today, they mentioned they're getting 6 days off, which is quite a lot. So I hope these guys take care of
Oh, they
themselves.
Yeah, normally give them a chance to fly home, get away from football, and then when they come back, they back on their regular schedule. So a lot of them they flew out the night of when the game was over, they was flying back home to where they from. So yeah, that's a
Yeah, well,
whole
they
week
had to come in
vacation.
yesterday, and so they were checking out today. Hopefully, they get their rest, safe travel where they're going, get their cardio in. The rookies need to be in their playbooks a little bit. Um, we need to be ready for Seattle. Like we
Hmm.
say, the boy Lil Kiki and the screwed up click say we're about to battle in Seattle. So that's I got 8 years ago when Deshaun put on a show up in Seattle. It was an amazing atmosphere. And so, with it being a Monday night game, it's going to be a late game. Uh, there's a
Yeah.
lot of hype around it being 9 p.m. Central. So, hopefully, our team is ready to go up against Sam Darnold, who had a lot of success against his defense last year. But I know D'Amico and Mac Burke got something for him this year. So
Oh, for sure.
I
Yeah.
I I know we're not ready to pick the game, but I know that these guys got 2 weeks to get ready for Sam Darnold. They're gonna have something brewing. I can see Christian Harris making a return to the active lineup for some blitz packages.
Right. Let me let me go to the bull ring right quick because like I always say, they are part of the show. Let me just pick out. Mellow Mike said for Chubb, between 12 and 15 carries a game to keep him fresh. Woody is a third down back and a breather. Uh, Woody, I think Woody is a guy that like his ability to he moves the pile just like Chubb. But the thing what I see about Chubb moves forward. Like it seemed like every run that I ever seen him run, he's getting 3 yards at
Yeah, he getting 3 yards. My guy Killer's having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna try to keep it going. Mellow Mac. Mike, we got Brandon, we got Black Lion, we got Jay Coop, even our master engineer, the draft god, Patton in the bull ring tonight. Um, we just need to make sure that we are ready when we get up to Seattle. This offense had 2 good weeks. Well, let me go back. The offense had 5 good quarters because Tennessee, the
Okay.
fourth quarter, is where we had success. So we want to make sure we build upon these last 5 quarters of success as we enter Seattle. And it's going to be key that we take that first possession right down and get points to quiet
Mm,
that crowd down, to make sure that our guys can have the momentum, our defense can do their thing. But we have to be mindful of the Seattle's coaches, a young defensive guys similar to D'Amico, who was uh, having some good defensive performances as well. But they run a scheme that we all are very familiar with. They have Gary Kubiak's oldest son, Clint Kubiak, there as the OC. And so
mhm.
they have some power running backs that have a little speed that we got to be on top of our tackling in this game, too. So I know these
Okay.
guys on the bye, but they need to get in the weight room a couple of times, make sure they're ready when they come back. Are you back, Killer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We lost you for a minute there, and your screen is frozen right now. But go ahead and um, take it over.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just about to hit the bull ring right quick. Brandon Hallam said Higgins needs some receptions too. I agree with that. I think he needs to be targeted a little bit more because I think that'll open up for Nico on the opposite side. Let's see. Brandon Hallam said we need that away game experience versus Seahawks and others. Yeah, I get that. Brandon also said I think the team can get accustomed to um, waking up later and playing later before the Seahawks game. I mean, a lot of these guys. See, one thing we got to understand is these guys wasn't born and raised in Houston. So CJ is a Cali kid. He's a West Coast guy. So that time frame is going to be like it's simple for him. He had to adjust when he had to leave from Cali to Ohio. And the time differential change. Brandon said Seattle 24-17. Houston win over Seattle 24-17. And let's see, Julius Harris. Man, I missed the show. What's good, fellas? We got to keep the ball rolling, keep the momentum moving forward. I agree with that. Like, we have to
Shout out.
build on this, man, because when you come out of this game with Seattle on the road and you make a convincing win, the talking heads are going to say, hey, man, y'all got to watch out for the Texans because giving up 12.2 a game, and I said before the season started, this is going to be a legendary defense. I don't see a game that we're just going to like. This is going to be a legendary defense, even when the Texans release all the busted plays and coverages that CJ Gardner was doing. And just think that if he was just doing what he was supposed to do, how greater this defense will be. And you're missing two rookies and you're missing Jimmy Ward. This defense can still become better than what it is. So it's kind of crazy because we're going to have one game that the Texans going to give up 4 touchdowns. It's going to happen. Like every legendary defense is going to give up huge game. But in totality, what you want to see is the team be consistent. 1 touchdown, two at the max. If you give that up and your offense is scoring 21 points, like you said, you can win every game that you in, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Brandon make a good point in the bull ring that we're facing some of the tougher offenses early in the season. So Seattle should be recognized as one of those. They run that Kubiak scheme that they're gonna run the ball, they're gonna play action, they're gonna make all their plays look the same. They got threats down the middle of the field with JSN. They got a rookie tight end that's been doing well. Two
mhm.
headed out of the backfield. I'm not certain about their wideouts. They got a rookie number 15. We'll have to do some research on him before it's time to go. But
Okay.
there's your theme music, Cal.
All right, man. So let's go and shout out everybody in the bull ring. Of course, we got the legendary member Brandon Hallum, always in the building. We got Jay Coop.
Cool.
We got we got Sanctuary TV 20. Thanks for chiming in. We got Dorso 94. Thank you, man. We got Space Age 713. Of course, J. Cool, Mellow Mike, always in the space, like just giving us game. Hey, we got drop guard Patton. He dropped in. Shout out to Patton. Shout out to Frank Nitty, man. Frank Nitty out there doing his thing. So, wasn't for him, we not doing this right now. And hey, man, I'm missing somebody. Pat Mom didn't even step in tonight. Yeah, I got everybody, but Pat Mom didn't even step in tonight, man. What's up? Julius Harris. I see Julius. Shout out to Julius, man. So hey, man. Hey, it was a great show, man. I love chopping it up with you, man, because I learned a lot from you, Larry, and I respect your football acumen. And I love to disagree, to agree. But one thing about it is when you tell me something, I go back and research it, and I'll come back with you and say I disagree, or I come back and tell you I agree. But I'm not stubborn enough to say, hey, you was just wrong, and I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to do my research. So, hey, man, thank you for being the fourth member, to the show, man. And we always love your contributions to the Texans on 3 podcast with Patton and Nitty. Man, we just love everything that you bring to the podcast, bro.
Appreciate y'all, man. I just had to bring this gray hair experience as a Houston fan to the audience to let them know that the ups and downs, we still H-Town down. So, let's get it.
Oh yeah, Julius Harris. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. Hey, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Yeah, do that, man. We got to grow this thing and get this word out here, man. And hey, we just like to come here, have a good time, talk Texans, and like we all fans. We can agree, we can disagree, but we're gonna be respectful. And man, I just love everybody that comes into the bull ring and just share your experiences with us, man. So thank y'all for coming out. Yeah. So,
yo, Cal, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When the next time you gonna have a podcast? When is the next podcast?
When the next time I'm gonna have a podcast?
Yeah, when is the next show, buddy? When is the next show?
The next show is gonna be Friday night, man.
Okay.
Oh, man.
What time Friday?
Hey, Friday at 7 p.m. sharp. Not 7:01. Hey, if Nitty conducting the show, we probably gonna be on at like 7:20. But if I'm conducting the show, we gonna be on there at 7 o'clock. So hey, that's a direct stab at my homeboy Nitty. But hey, we gonna be on 7 o'clock. Friday night. We gonna be talking Texans. It's the bye week. But hey, man, we moving forward. We're looking at Seattle, and let's go ahead and celebrate this win, man. We ain't finna just die down.
Maybe you can get a special session on the line with you and the draft guard. Maybe y'all can expose on the line.
Oh, we could do that. I know he's kind of like, you know, he has some
Commitment.
commitments, right? But I mean, hey, I'm always willing,
Shout out,
and
Mellow
I'm gonna tell you,
Mellow Mike, I'm out on Friday nights. I got high school football to go to with my kids, but Mellow
mhm.
Mike said he always ready to fill in. Shout out Mellow Mike.
Okay, yeah, we'll show tap that button with Mellow Mike. He done stepped in before, so yeah, we'll keep that in mind, man. And hey, we gonna keep this thing rolling, man. But great show, man. And man, y'all continue to support us, man. And we just fans that love our team and love our city, man. So to all the fans, all the participants, hey, we love y'all guys, man. We out of here. Peace.
Yeah, Cal love British Brooks,
I love
Ebro
him, bro.
Collins,
My
Jawad
guys, my guys, man. We out of here, bro.
we